Good afternoon, this is your Great Plague 1665 update. Here's the latest developments today. The plague which broke out is estimated to have killed nearly 70,000 in the capital alone, the epicentre of the outbreak. The code level moved from at risk to Armageddon. Local authorities have stepped up their response to the crisis by moving from the management phase into containment. As such, anyone experiencing symptoms is instructed to self-isolate at home with their families in order to limit the spread, and is only allowed out 40 days after the symptoms have passed, or more likely, when they're dead. We spoke to Dr. Samuel Cornwall to find out more about the symptoms to look out for.
Thank you, Stephen. The illness begins with sneezing, a high temperature, shivering, dizziness, vomiting, aches, pains, pus-filled swellings in the armpit and groin, with black spots appearing all over the body. The symptoms can last anywhere between 5 and 15 days, until the patient dies in an unimaginably painful death.
Thank you, Dr. Cornwall. A little ditty has been prepared for everyone to remember the symptoms.
Rank of roses, a pocket full of posies, a tissue, we all fall down.
Dr. Cornwall, can you tell us what treatments are being used to combat the disease?
Preventative treatments are recommended to keep us all safe. Of course, we're all carrying our posies to keep away the miasma and sulphur, to keep away the disease. But now doctors recommend smoking tobacco as a way of internal fumigation. The smoke releases into the airways and kills everything it comes into contact with, including the lungs. Ask any schoolboy and he'll agree. Cigarette a day keeps the plague away.
If your preventatives have failed you, you can rely on traditional therapeutics, including sucking a coin soaked in vinegar, strapping a live chicken or frog to the boils which will draw out the disease, or bisect a live pigeon and rub it on the affected area. Obviously, avoid bathing and indeed any personal hygiene at all. However, there is a new treatment being developed by alchemists in Hackney. We spoke to Carl Myerson to find out more. Unicorn horn! Thank you very much, Mr. Myerson. In other news, Charles II met with Parliament in Oxford this weekend, where they passed legislation ensuring that no plague hospitals or plague pits were set up within a mile of any gentleman's house. Here was Charles II at the annual press conference last night.
Hello, and welcome to the Great Plague 1665 press briefing. Since anyone who is of the better sort left London, along with all doctors and senior officials in the church, I really feel no need to concern ourselves with the wrath of God that currently visits down upon our great nation. I trust that the British public will exercise British common sense and die quietly.
And now, over to Carol with the astrology.
Hi, Steve. The alignment of Saturn and Jupiter late last year, which brought this catastrophe upon us, lifted by November, replaced with a low-rising Mars in the northern skies. This will lift up, bringing with it Mercury and Pluto, and really making life bearable for the few of us who survive. Later on, expect a new moon. Back to you.
And finally, let's get back to Carol to find out what you, our viewers, are up to in self-isolation. We join her in London.
We visited this street in London to find out how you, our viewers, are doing during lockdown. Let's have a look inside. Knock, knock. They're all dead.
Bring out your dead.
And that's all for your Great Plague 1665 update. If you're still alive tomorrow, we'll see you then. Good night.